Hello, this is my informative speech. As unfortunate as it is, we are in a silent war. A war against opioid abuse, addiction, dependence, and overdoses. In 2014 alone, there were 47,055 people that lost their lives due to drug overdose. Of those, there were 18,893 people that died directly from opioids and 10,574 from heroin. The availability of opioids is much greater than it once was. In fact, in 2012, there were 259 million prescriptions written for opioids. This overprescribing of opioids leads to abuse and addiction. Opioid abuse leads to heroin use. Heroin is very addictive, therefore often abused and once started. The numbers actually speak for themselves. 2.1 million Americans are addicted to opioids. Of those, 467,000 are now addicted to heroin. Unfortunately, in today's society, heroin is so much easier and cheaper to get than opioids are. First of all, we need to get the facts out there and start talking about the reality of the issue. With that being said, we need to understand the difference between addiction and dependence. Dependence is the physical need for the drug. It is easily managed with medications and with a slow decrease in the amount of opioids that are taken. While addiction is when there is a manifestation of cravings for the drug, and uncontrollable and compulsive drug use and behavior. Addiction tends to lead to major issues in the person's life along with the family's. Another big part of this is to understand what opioids really are. They are drugs like oxycodone, Norco, hydrocodone, fentanyl, morphine, and many more. They all have addictive principles. Another big thing is to understand the correlation between addiction and dependence. Most people don't think you can have one without the other, but you can. Some people suffer from addiction without a physical dependence for the drugs. Think of gambling. You can be addicted to gambling and when you quit, you don't have any physical side effects from stopping. You can also have a physical dependence without addiction. Some people take their prescribed medications and not abuse them, but they can't stop taking them without serious side effects and withdrawal symptoms. Secondly, we need to understand why it's easier to get opioids than it used to be. I feel that it could be because they are overprescribed. Both people in my house are prescribed different types for different reasons. Dentists will prescribe things like oxycodone after a tooth extraction. Pharmaceutical companies also dispense way too many and make such a great profit from our opioid business. They also have a much more aggressive advertisement these days. Think about it. Everyone knows somebody that's on pain pills. It has become socially acceptable to pay on pain meds on a daily basis. That alone makes them easier to get. We also need to understand the connection between opioid abuse and heroin. To start off, heroin is not legal. It is not a prescription pain medication. It's synthesized from morphine, therefore it's truly an opioid. Morphine is the legal form of heroin. Since it's synthesized from morphine, once it's in the brain converts it back to morphine, giving the same high as taking morphine or another type of pain medication. And again, as sad as it is, heroin is much cheaper and easier to get than pain meds through a prescription. Opioids are overly prescribed and leading to heroin abuse. There is a major loss of life due to these drugs, and there are serious negative side effects along with consequences for using these drugs. These drugs are everywhere and entirely too easy to obtain. We need to stop pretending this issue isn't real. We need to talk about it, and we need to do something to stop it. Thank you. Have a good night.